Let's take a look at the 49 football, the quick play plus defensive play calling way of playing the game that I came up with this year. I think it's actually the best place to start when you want to learn how to play 49 football. Shows you how to call the defensive plays. You get into the flow of the game and see how all that goes. And then from there, you can advance to the more advanced game, which has a few more rules on play calling, but it actually brings play calling more and more into the game. It also shows you how to do the standard game, which is the quickest game. And I just played a CFL game yesterday that took me just under an hour, mainly because I tried to see how fast I could play it, but I did. I got a game in under an hour. Let's head to the table here, and let me show you what I got going on here. So this is a game that right now is between the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. It's the divisional final for the 2019 game being played in Green Bay. I'm actually playing this about 3 days before the game, actual game being played. And I looked at the weather. It does not look like it's going to snow, but it is going to be cold. So I am using weather modifier, and it's this one here, which is cold, which if you don't have that one, send me an email and I'll send you a new sheet of some of the odd type of weather things that could happen in the game. So what you'll also see is the new sheets that I've developed for this year, which is the team chart. And I know some people say it just looks like there's a whole bunch of numbers on there, and there's a lot of numbers on there, but in any one play, you only pick one of the numbers. So I'm not going to go through a lot of the rules on how to play 49 football. I just want to show you the flow and how to integrate this chart here into the game. This is the quick play plus defensive play calling. So the game I've got going on, it is at halftime, and the Seattle Seahawks scored late in the half and made it a 10-10 tie. The cold has definitely played into the game. Both quarterbacks have not done too well. Russell Wilson, 7 of 16 in the first half for 54 yards. And flip it over, you can see that Aaron Rodgers not a lot better, 9 of 19, 131 yards. The big one for him, though, was a 68-yard touchdown pass to Jimmy Graham. Okay, the thing with weather, with the cold weather that I've got going on here, is it's going to have a slight negative impact on the pass, has a positive impact on the run, and it has a pretty significant impact on the kickers. Now, there's no wind today, and so where we're picking the game up is the start of the second half. Seattle just returned the kick, so we'll take 10 seconds off the kick there. And you can see they actually get the ball to their own 12-yard line. What happened was Tyler Lockett fumbled the ball at the 12-yard line. Green Bay actually picked it up, started to return it, and I thought, oh, great, way to start the second half off. Green Bay, though, fumbled the football, so Seattle jumped on it, and they have the ball at their own 12-yard line now to get things started. So the way I'm playing this game is I'm playing Seattle both on offense and defense. I'm going to roll 3 dice. The blue dice is going to determine the Seattle player. The green and gold dice is going to determine the play for Green Bay. They're on defense right now, and that's the defensive play call. So it's on first down. I'll go down this 1st and 10 column. And then I always roll an extra dice because there are a lot of times during the game when you need another D20 roll. Well, this way I've already got that play rolled. So first thing I'm going to do is select a play for Seattle. If you go back over to the stats, you can see that Marshawn Lynch had a pretty good first half, 10 carries, 49 yards. And even in their game last week when they played against Philadelphia, he had like 14 carries, I think, for 42 yards. So not a lot of yards, but he made some real good runs, some key runs. So he's having his presence felt. Beast mode has sort of come back. So let's start with a stretch run. And now I'm going to roll, and we're going to see what play the Green Bay is going to play. So it's going to be a basic run. So what I do now is I set this onto basic run. And you can see there's a whole row for basic run. And you're going to reference the play. If it was a short pass, it'd be a +1. But keep going all the way along. And it's going to be an off tackle or stretch run. So the result is a -6. Oh, sorry. I messed up there. The 8 is the player. 12 is the defense that's being called. Oh my, it's so different when you got a camera going. So it's a basic pass instead. So we're going to roll down to the basic pass. So it actually kind of worked out well. You can see the differences in the play calling. Because a basic pass now with the run is a +1. So the running back is number 8. So if I go down this column here, I see that Travis Homer is going to get a run. He's going to have the stretch run. And his numbers are dependent on that next D20 roll, and it was a 20. So the range of D20, so 7 to 20, his number is a 39. So that's his running number for this play. It's 39. Now it's going to be modified by the +1, the defensive play call. So that makes it a 40. Next, you're going to flip over a game action card, and we have a potential penalty on the play. And you can see that there's a game modifier of -3 yards on a stretch run. So that takes the total run down to 37 is the number, not 37 yards, he wishes. You look between 30 and 39, because that's where 37 is, and that would make for a 3-yard gain. Now, this is one of the new things from the cards from last year, is there's a team max penalty. Green Bay, their penalty is 13.6. That's their penalty rating, of a false start rating of 1 to 11. Seattle has the same false start rating, but their penalty rating is 14.8, so they have the most penalties. And so this brings into account, this doesn't happen very often in a game, but once or twice, but the team that gets more penalties is going to get penalized on it. Now, the RU is for run, the /N* is for north. So if this was a CFL game, it would have been a defensive penalty on offside, but this is offensive holding against Seattle. They had a positive gain, so Green Bay is going to accept that penalty. Because they are at the 12-yard line, it's going to be a 6-yard penalty. So let me write that in. 6-yard offensive penalty. That's their 5th penalty of the game for Seattle. Both these teams have struggled. So that takes them down to the 6-yard line. And there'll be a 5-second runoff on that play. All right. We get to do it all over again now. Well, let's try an intermediate pass. So it's first down and 15. Roll up the dice. Let's check the right dice this time. The green one is a 15, and it's first and 16. So it's this column here. A 15 is a pass. So on their quick play defensive chart, you're going to move this down to the pass. And we're going to see who the pass is to. It's 5. So you look down the intermediate pass. The 5 is going to go to DK Metcalf. His pass completion number is 73. If the pass is complete, the highlighted in yellow is the yardage number. That's not the yards gained, but it's the yardage number. The same way that you saw the running play, that's what the 43 is. You're going to reference the 40 to 45. Okay, so it's a 73. That's his pass completion. But you're going to modify that by the pass versus intermediate is -11. So that takes it down to a 62. Now you're going to flip a game action card and see if there's anything happening on the play and another potential penalty on the play. There'd be pressure if it was a long pass, or it could be possible interception if it was a long pass. So I'm glad I threw an intermediate pass. So we're going to see if the pass is complete. Number 62. Now I got to remember that we've got weather going on, and so the quarterback rating actually goes down by another 6 points. So that makes it a 56. So turn over the results card. And if it would have been a 56, it would have been completed. So you can see that defensive play call that they made actually turned that into an incomplete pass. We got a penalty on the play. So let's see what's going on the penalty. And it is against defense. Oh no, sorry, it is against the defense. Roughing the passer, 15-yard penalty. So Seattle catches a huge break, bottled up in their own end. Let's get this marked in here. Just their second penalty of the game, but it's a huge one. And Seahawks get a first down. We're going to roll 15 yards along the way here. And that's an automatic first down at the 21-yard line. Put a little bit of time off the clock and do it all over again. So we're going to, I think we're going to go back to that running play. Let's do an inside run this time. Let's see how we do. So they're playing an 8, which is a basic run defense. So we set this to basic run, which is going to have a -7 modifier. The inside run is number 5. So that's Travis Homer. Again, remember we have to have that second D20 roll for him, and it was 13. So his number is a 39. So 39 plus 5 for the weather makes it a 44, -6 for the run makes it a 38. And we're going to turn over a game card, see if there's any potential fumbles on the play. Penalty if this was a North game. If it was a pass, there'd be a fumble on the quarterback, and there could be pressure, but there's none of that. It's inside run, so it's -8. So 39 plus 5 is 44, -6 is 38, -8 is 30. So let's see how Travis Homer did, and he gets a half a yard, so not much going for Travis Homer there. And what I do in the first and the third quarters, I round up the half yard, and the second and fourth quarters, I round down. So even though it was just a half yard gain, that's why I showed him having a full yard there. That's a 30-second play. Second down, 9.5. Let's just do a couple more plays. And let's go back to a passing play. Let's try, I'm just gonna throw a short pass here. I hate to throw too many long passes because potential for interception is there. So it's 14, second down and 9. A 14 is they're gonna play a pass defense. So you set this up on the pass defense. The pass is going to number 5. Lucky number 5 keeps coming up. It's going to be DK Metcalf again. So his number is an 84. So 84 minus 10 is 74. So you can see it's quite a bit higher, but then we also have the cold number there, so that puts it to a 68. It's because short passes are usually completed a little more often. So now there's potential for a review on the play. 1 to 15 means the play stands as called, so your only chance of overturning it is if it's a 16 to 20. So another team's probably going to worry about that at this point in the game. Potential for pressure on all length of passes, and it's a 5. If you look at Green Bay's potential for pressure when they're playing pass defense, it's between 1 and 8. And a 5 is, so that means they got pressure on the play. And so what I do is I look at that D20 that I'd rolled, and it's a 13. The 13 on Russell Wilson's row is a check down, so he's going to check down. And the way you do that is you're going to roll another D20, and that's a 14. The CD roll, 14, is Jacob Hollister. That's an 87. Russell Wilson's check down rating is -10, so that makes it a 77. And then all you're going to do is you're going to take the -6 as well, so it makes it a 71. Flip this over, and hoo-hoo, barely caught, but it is caught. Hollister's pass rating, yards rating is 17, and we're going to turn over the next card and modify it with the passing yards. It's a 3, it's a 20, which is kind of good because, well, it goes up to the 20 to 29, which is an SA minus. Anytime you see an SA minus, it means that the defense has a chance to make a really good play, and you're going to subtract 4 from the next card, which is a 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. So the defense came up and made a really good play on DK Metcalf. So he caught the ball, but for no yards. And so that's going to make it third down now, and 9.5. So Seattle, I got to try and force it a little bit. I wonder if a draw play would be good here, or do we try and force a pass? This is where the decision making on plays to call is kind of fun. They play an aggressive defense. So it tells you there that they play an aggressive defense, and the offense they play pass most conservative. What I did though at the start of the game, because of the weather factor and the weather having a negative impact on pass and a positive in on run, I decided instead of doing pass most conservative, I chose this one, which is pass more. So they're going to throw the ball just a little bit less than they normally would. Okay, so that was enough procrastination. What am I going to do? I'm going to try the medium pass. All right, third down, almost 10 yards to go. Defense is playing a 3, which is a basic pass. So that gives us a chance. They maybe didn't pick the best pass. They maybe thought we were going to do that running play. 17, I'm going to go right back to Jacob Hollister. Hollister's number is a 60. -6 is 54. -6 is 48. Let's see what we have for anything extraordinary going on. Well, more pressure, and that is within their range. Their basic pass, they get pressure 1 to 7. Green Bay has pressure. The number's a 20. Russell Wilson, 15 to 20 means he's going to run. There's his running numbers right there. So now I'm going to roll a D20. I need it to be between 1 and 12 for him to have a good run. It's a 6. So I'm going to mark down here, pressure. Ooh, not very good mark. And what I do now is take his number, which is 61. I'm going to modify it with +5. It makes it 66. We're going to turn over a new game action card. And this is a +8. So that makes it a 74. You've got a chance at a pretty good gain here. And the 74 is a 9-yard gain. He's going to be a half a yard short of the first down. So just the third time that he's run the ball today, picks up a nice gain of 9 yards, but he's a half a yard short at the 30.5-yard line. And that is the fun of where those half yards come in, and why I love having this half yard increments, because right now, if it was 4th and inches, I probably wouldn't go for it. 4th down and half a yard, definitely not going to go for it. So let me show you the punt sequence here, because we've got the cold going on. The punt is a 13, and then I use this number here to determine if it's a fair catch or not. So I go to the punting modifier first. It's -2 on the D20, so that takes that D20 to an 11, and then -3 yards. So 11 is a 46, is 43. So it's a 43-yard punt. And I'm going to turn this over and see if there's anything happening. Oh, there's a potential fumble on the return. So it's a 43-yard punt. So let's mark that off first. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40. 3-yard punt. Okay, so now the return. And the return I'm going to do kind of the same thing. The big red one is going to be to determine who the returner is. And then the green one is the yards. So it's 12 and a 2, but the return gets -2. But on any return that takes you below, you can see the returners, below a 2, I don't give that. So it's just going to be a 0-yard return. Remember, there's a potential for a fumble on the play. And because it's cold out, fumbles are +1. If you look at the returners, the returner is a fumble rating of 1 to 6, so it's 1 to 7. I'm going to roll this dice. 1 to 7 means he fumbles it. And it is a 12, so he didn't fumble it. But he got no return. Anyway, that's where Green Bay's going to set up to start off their next drive. And what's been a real fun game. It feels like it's a cold day in Green Bay. If you have any questions, make sure you email me at grant.fines@icloud.com. Happy to answer any and all questions. And that is the quick play version of 49 football with defensive play calling.